Port Axiom. Well, it was quite the sight. Really. Not just a spaceport, you know. More like a crossroads hanging in the void, tethered by strands of solidified light that hummed, almost imperceptibly, with contained power. Ships drifted in and out, sleek chrome needles, alongside vessels that looked like cathedrals given wings, carved wood inlaid with circuits, powered by bound elementals channeled through reactor cores. People thronged the docking rings, spacers in worn void suits, haggling with merchants draped in silks that subtly shifted patterns like ink, technicians with data jacks behind their ears, consulting with robed adepts, holding runestones that glowed softly. The air smelled of ozone, exotic spices, and, something else, something ancient, like deep earth and starlight mixed together. Anya adjusted the strap of her satchel, the small, heavy data crystal within pressing reassuringly against her side. Just get it to the Oracle Temple on Cygnus X-1. Simple enough, they said, lucking around Port Axiom, though nothing felt simple. Everything was layered. You'd see a maintenance drone humming along, but its casing would be etched with protective words. You'd see a food stall selling synth noodles next to one offering potions, brewed from stardust and rare nebulae flora. It was, a lot to take in. Her transport was waiting. Not one of the big cruisers, no. A smaller vessel, a Wind-Skimmer, they called it. Looked like a large, graceful manta ray, its wings a mix of solar sails and something older. Membranes etched with runes that seemed to gather the ambient light of the void. Its propulsion, the pilot explained with a grin, was a bound Zephyr-spirit, guided by, a fairly sophisticated navigation AI. Magic and machine working together. Like everything else out here, it seemed. They detached from the port with a smooth surge of energy, the vast structure of Axiom receding behind them. Below, if you could call it below, wasn't empty space. It was the Ethelgard expanse. Not islands, not really. More like, colossal remnants. Perhaps they were once living things, celestial beings maybe, now petrified, silent titans adrift in the cosmic currents. Civilizations had carved homes and cities into their very substance. You could see lights twinkling across surfaces larger than continents, connected by shimmering bridges of pure energy, Lightweaver's art, they called it. Stabilized pathways through the void. It was beautiful and, unbelievably vast. As they skimmed past the flank of one such titan, a shadow detached itself from the craggy ancient surface. It moved with impossible speed, resolving into a creature Anya had only read about, a Volt-Roc, majestic, terrifying, easily the size of her skimmer. Its body seemed forged from storm clouds and jagged metal, feathers crackling with captured lightning, eyes like burning coals scanning the void. It let out a cry, not like a bird, more like a power surge, overloading, a screech of static and raw energy that vibrated through the skimmer's hull. The pilot banked sharply, murmuring soothing commands to the AI, and, Anya suspected, a quiet prayer to the Zephyr-spirit. The rock watched them, then wheeled away, diving back towards the petrified giant, living behind the scent of ozone. Further on, the landscape, the voidscape shifted. They entered what the charts called the Silicon Weald. Not a forest on a planet, you know. It was a region of space filled with structures. Crystalline trees, miles high, branching out in fractal patterns. Their bark was like polished chrome, laced with circuits, glowing with soft, pulsing light. Data streams, the pilot said. Information flowed visibly along the branches like luminous sap. Growing on these metallic giants was a kind of moss, a bioluminescent film that hummed, a low, resonant frequency that seemed to carry complex patterns. It fed on stray data, they said, kept the Weald clean. It wasn't empty, of course. Tiny fleeting lights zipped between the circuit branches. Code sprites, the pilot called them, barely sentient wisps of pure data that performed constant diagnostics on the Weald structure. Cute, in a way. But then something larger drifted into view. A logic beast it was. Hard to describe. Geometric, almost. A predator made of shifting planes of hard light and dark matter. It moved with unsettling fluidity. Hunting, the pilot whispered, for corrupted data packets, rogue algorithms that could disrupt the Weald. It ignored the skimmer. Its multifaceted eyes fixed on a flickering anomaly, deeper within the crystalline branches. It was a reminder that even here, in this place of pure information and structure, there were dangers. The journey took them towards the Cygnus system. Their destination wasn't the main star, but a cluster of worlds orbiting it, specifically the Geode Citadel. It wasn't a city built on a mountain. It was built within a cluster of colossal planetoid-sized geodes that had been cracked open eons ago. The outer shells were rough, asteroid-like, but the interiors, well, they were hollowed-out worlds lined with crystals the size of skyscrapers, naturally formed and breathtaking. And woven into this natural crystalline structure was the technology. Luminous circuits ran like veins across the crystal facets. Power conduits pulsed with soft light. Entire districts were carved into massive crystal formations. Buildings clung to the inner surfaces, some looking ancient carved stone temples nestled beside sleek crane towers. Arcane symbols, vast and intricate, glowed softly on cliff faces right next to massive data ports, flickering with information. Chris was managed by runic arrays embedded in the geode floor and ceiling, allowing transit between levels that defied normal physics. They landed the skimmer on a platform extending from a crystal spire. Anya thanked the pilot, stepping out into the Citadel's unique atmosphere. It was cool, the air tinged with the scent of ozone and, strangely, minerals. The light wasn't from a sun, but from the ambient glow of the crystals and the embedded technology. She saw constructs moving through the plazas below, not just robots, but true golems. Massive figures of living rock or crystal, their movements surprisingly fluid, intricate runes glowing on their bodies, their eyes lenses pulsing with the cool light of AI consciousness. Technicians worked alongside artificers, one group using plasma welders and diagnostic tools, the other using wands that dripped sparks and chanting softly, in ancient tongues, to repair a golem's damaged limb. It was seamless. Magic wasn't hidden away. Technology wasn't purely functional. They were intertwined aspects of the same reality. Walking through the Citadel's pathways, Anya felt the sheer weight of history and innovation. She passed libraries where glowing data slates rested on shelves next to ancient, leather-bound scrolls. She saw meditation chambers where monks sat before humming servers, their minds presumably interfacing with vast AI networks, in search of enlightenment, or maybe just processing spiritual data. The scale of it all, it was humbling. There were artisans here they called thoughtsmiths, individuals who could supposedly use a combination of psionic talent and specialized tech forges to shape raw concepts, emotions or ideas into tangible objects. Intricate sculptures of solidified memory, weapons forged from pure conviction. It sounded like myth, but here, well, it seemed plausible. She heard whispers, too, amongst the background hum of the Citadel, mentions of glitched zones out in the deeper void, areas where the weave of magic and technology became frayed. Unpredictable. Stories of rogue constructs, ancient guardians, or complex AIs that had deviated from their original programming, developing strange consciousnesses of their own. It wasn't all seamless progress, apparently. There were still mysteries, dangers, consequences to this grand fusion. Her path led her towards the transit hub for the inner system travel. She needed passage closer to the Oracle Temple, which resided on a moon orbiting a gas giant, deeper within Cygnus X-1. The hub itself was located near what they called a star forge. Not a forge for ships exactly, but a place where raw, stellar energy and matter were drawn in, contained by immense fields generated by techno-arcane means and shaped. Huge lenses made of focused gravity and arcane matrices manipulated streams of plasma, weaving them into exotic materials or channeling the energy for, well, purposes Anya couldn't begin to comprehend. The scale was staggering. The forge complex sprawled across space, glowing with the light of captured stars, radiating power that could be felt even miles away, a low thrum in the bones. Anya secured passage on a sturdy courier vessel designed for the sometimes turbulent intra-system currents. As the ship pulled away from the Geode Citadel, she looked back at the cracked open worlds, glowing with inner light, a testament to life finding a way to integrate the natural, the magical, and the technological on a scale that defied belief. The Oracle Temple was still distant, another step on a journey through a universe where the lines between code and spell, circuit and soul, were becoming increasingly, well, blurred. The data crystal felt heavier now, not just with information, but with the implications of the world it existed in. A world remade, constantly remaking itself, at the intersection of the ancient and the hyper-advanced. The journey ahead promised more wonders, more strangeness, and maybe, just maybe, some answers. Or perhaps just more questions in this vast, intricate cosmos.